This is all very exciting. What I've got in front of me here is a 1987 Penske PC-16 IndyCar, kart IndyCar. It was driven in the Kart World Series in 1987 by Rick Mears, who's a four-time Indianapolis 500 winner. He's a very famous racing driver throughout the world, and particularly in North America. He's a legend over there, basically. But anyway, so I've been very fortunate to get my hands on this car. Everything seemed to line up at the right time and put it back into its original livery, which is great. This is exactly how it looked back in the period. It's powered by a Ilmor V8, Chevrolet badged engine. It's a 700 plus horsepower setup, 750 I think it was dyno too. So it's no toy. Yeah, very excited about it. It's a tremendous car, a great piece of motoring history, and I'm very fortunate to have it. The estate liked my attitude and that I intended to, get it going and actually use it, as opposed to just sit around and look at it. Although sitting around and looking at it is it's not a bad pastime. It's a beautiful thing. Hoops to go through before I can get going on it. I've got to do a bit of lower formula driving and get up to speed. I've got access to a Formula V, which is going to be very helpful. So that'll be how I'll kick things off, and then I'll have to work towards getting my high performance license. So that'll come with time. The car needs a lot of setting up. The suspension and all the geometries will probably need to be tuned. The engine needs to be set up. And need to look at the gear ratios in the gearbox, but the car is complete and it will go. The engine was run a few years ago. It's a brand new engine, so I was very lucky there. And I've actually got a second engine and some parts, a lot of spare parts came with it, so it's a good setup. Anyway, so what I'll do now is I'll pause this video here and I'll take the engine cover off, because I'm sure you'll all be keen to see what the guts of it looks like in the power section. And so let's do that now. So there we go. So that's what's underneath the engine cover there. So you've got your Ilmor V8 of the period. It's a 2.65 litre flat plane V8. Revs up to about 12,000, although I think it's been rev limited a little bit below that. But in all its anger, it'll produce just shy of 750 horsepower. It's got a big turbocharger there, you see, feeding that plenum chamber. You've got your wastegate control there with a little stinger out there. I bet you that screams when it opens up. The mirrored wastegate control, and again the stinger there. The turbocharger, and then feeds that plenum there. The injectors across the top there are feeding methanol. Hewland gearbox internals, although widened gear sets inside a Penske gearbox. This car is actually a Penske build, PC-16. The Ilmor engine was developed obviously by Ilmor Engineering. Mario Elian. It was one of his first competitive engines outside of his time spent at Cosworth. So it's quite controversial when he left Cosworth, because they claimed that he took their engine basically, which there's probably a good case to be had there. But nonetheless, it was a very successful engine in its own right. It competed toe-to-toe with the DFX Cosworth. Lucas ignition system and the Ilmor fuel management setup. Although it is a mechanical engine with mechanical fuel injectors there on the top, there is some form of fuel flow control with this early Ilmor management system here, which frankly I know nothing about. I'll have to do a bit of research on that. That starter motor shaft there, 24 volt setup, slots into those little eyelets there and goes right into the back of the gearbox. First objective is to get the engine running. That shouldn't be a major task, because I understand the engine, well, I don't know, the engine is new and it has only run once, and the guys who put it together and ran it said it ran perfectly. It ran on the dyno in the United States and did some full-blown power runs there, but in Australia it's only run once, and I believe it ran on petrol for just a quick test run. So that'll probably be the first thing we do. As you can see, you've got the massive exhaust outlet there coming straight off that turbine. I bet you that makes a sweet sound when it's at noise. The cockpit, as you'd expect in 87, was very sparse. I'll just move that suit there. Very basic, I should say. Now there's no seat insert here at the moment. A seat will have to get poured to fit my body. That'll be done with like a bag with a resin in there and foam balls and things like that, so that it gets poured in to suit the exact shape of your body. Down the bottom there you've got a very tight tunnel, at least for me, and your pedals are right down the bottom there. Clutch, accelerator and throttle. And I actually fit in the car okay. I'm 5'10" and Rick Mears was the same height, so it appears that I fit in about the same distances that he did. I'm reasonably comfortable in there. I wouldn't say it's roomy, but I've got enough space. What you've got down on the right hand side there is a gear lever, 6-speed gearbox. Very basic gauges on the panel. Just a boost gauge, engine RPM, oil pressure, oil temperature. And inside the tub here there's a brand new bladder fuel cell. So the idea of running a soft bladder is so that if you have a crash, serious crash, the bladder is supposed to be able to conform to the accident so that it doesn't burst. You can see that massive turbocharger there. All right, let's come back and take a look at the spare engine I've got. An Ilmor Chevrolet V8. So it's a complete spare engine. This was actually the engine that was originally on the car, and so this engine has effectively become a spare. My understanding is the engine runs and there's actually nothing wrong with it, and it's in good shape. So I consider it a spare. It's also very handy because it gives me a good chance to have a look at the engine on its own outside of the car, which allows me to walk around it and understand all the various features of the engine. As you can see, it's a compact little unit, beautifully built. So it's an Ilmor engine. It's one of Mario Ilian's design. Mario Ilian is the Il of Ilmor, and Mario's the chief designer. And this is one of his first real competitive engines, moving into IndyCar, and then later on he moved into Formula One, and ultimately got backing from Mercedes, as he has here with Chevrolet, and built a very successful engine through the late 90s for the McLaren team, predominantly driven by Coulthard and Hakkinen, and winning multiple world championships. He has a long history in race engine building, but cut his teeth in Indy, which is where he started. And this engine here is one of his first designs, if not the first design, certainly in IndyCar, and it's a very closely matched to the Cosworth DFX engine, methanol engine used in IndyCar racing. Mario used to work for Cosworth. Revs to about 12,000 RPM, 750 horsepower, mechanical fuel injection. In fact, if I remove that little sticky tape there, you can see a beautiful labyrinth of channeling in there, you know, fabricated, feeding the air evenly to all the various, to the trumpets via the plenum chamber there. Your flywheel there for your clutch pack. So there you go, Ilmor V8.